And welcome back, everyone. Good afternoon, or evening, or morning, as the case may be. For me, it's afternoon, 2 p.m. to be exact, and we're heading back into our 2015 Pomodoro Work With Me focus sessions. If you're new, the way that we do this is 20 minutes of focus followed by 15 minutes of break time, during which we chat, talk about latest gaming news, and so on. Today, we are going to be talking about the Royalty and Legacy Q&A session that went down over on the Sims official Discord. So we're going to be reading through that and taking a look and just having general chats about that during our breaks. During our focus sessions, I hope you enjoy me playing The Sims in the background. I'm currently building a work with me or co-working house for my sim, as well as other people's sims. For some reason, my Sims 4 thing is not working. Give me a second. It's always the case, isn't it? I do not know why. Meld keeps losing the exe, but it's fine. I'll deal. Sims 4, there we go. And then the source, we want to be... Really, game? Really? You're gonna... Nope, not that one. That one. There we go. That will work. It's funny, but there you go. Actually, you know what? Let me drop that down and then hope that the game actually, or the thing actually finds... No, it doesn't. Okay, it's just being a pain. That's fine, it's fine. Okay, so anyway, Ewoki, when Sims with EAF works well, it's a good day. It's Meld, to be honest, right now, because the way that Meld Studio, which is my broadcasting software, the way it works, or is supposed to work, is that it's supposed to find the EXE for the Sims. And for some weird reason, it's just decided that it's not gonna do it. At all, which is just really weird, but there we go. Okay, I got it working. Sometimes it just doesn't find the correct source. I don't know why, but there you go. That's how it works. It needed a break. It probably did. But how are you doing, Yoki? How was your afternoon, or how was your 2-hour-long break, basically? I'm looking forward to going over the Q&A, to be honest. Also, just as a warning, I haven't had my lunch yet. So I'm expecting a burger and some chips to be delivered up here to my office. And I do apologize, I am going to be eating during the live stream because I am housery and I want food. So, you know, one of my housemates, very, very nice, because the shower is, you know, not working. My housemate very nicely offered to take my son to the shopping center so that Paul could get a shower. And while they were there, they were going to pick me up some lunch. But things up there, just literally, it just got home, I just heard the door shut. But yeah, things, you know, went a little bit over. While they were there, Paul decided that he wanted to, instead of bringing food home, he wanted to eat there. So they took about half an hour longer than what they were planning on. So yeah, I haven't had lunch yet. We'll get there. Yoki nearly took a nap, but then you figured not. So you went to have some lunch, which was fruit. That was my lunch yesterday. I had a mixture of reduced fruit from the supermarket. So it was cherries, raspberries, and strawberries. And they were all like better than half off, you know, which is really nice. So I got like a punnet of cherries for 80 pence. Um, and the raspberries were about the same. The strawberries were a little over a pound. They were normally like 3 pounds for the punnet of strawberries. But yeah, all reduced. So I had a bit of the fruit from that yesterday for my lunch, along with a meringue and a little bit of whipped cream. So it was very nice. That is definitely, yeah, I jumped at it. I'm like, ooh, yes, give. I will 100% take cheap food, you know? And there was nothing wrong with it. There were a couple of pieces that were, you know, a little bit overripe. But I just threw those away when I was sorting through it. I think out of the entire, 4 punnets of fruit that I bought, one, I think I threw away 4 cherries and 2 raspberries, and that was it. So, very tasty. Hello, Opti. Lunch? It's only 9 a.m. You're about to have lunch. Also, my mic is really... Everyone's been saying that today. Hold on. Let me go back into my game options. Y'all didn't say anything about it yesterday, and I literally haven't changed a thing. So, but it's fine. Let me drop this down to about 70. Let's drop that down to 69. For the master volume. How's that sound? Is that better? Ewoki 69. Nice. Opting something changed because it wasn't like this yesterday. That is so weird. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. All I know is that technology hates me. That is what I know. Let me turn this down a little bit more. There we go. Am I talking more quietly? Me talk quietly? No. I don't think I know how to talk quietly, to be honest. Oh dear. Opting, that's a better balance. Fantastic. Awesome sauce. So yeah, how you doing, Optin? Everything okay? Give me a second. For some reason now my stream chat isn't. No. Please tell me no. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just gonna leave it. Technical problems, man. Technical problems. I hate technical problems. But it's fine. It's absolutely fine. We're going to deal with it. Okay. So while we get ready for our first focus timer of the day, during our first focus, I'm gonna go downstairs, grab my lunch, and then eat my lunch during our first focus, which, you know, a bit weird there, but such is as it is. And then we'll jump into the Q&A, which I'm really looking forward to reading through and chatting about with you all. So let's go ahead. Let us start our timer. If I can remember how to do it, I'm good. Okay, there we go. And let's get started. Opting Q's and A's. That is definitely a lot of stuff. Completely agree with you. Anyway, my friends, I'm going to mute the microphone and I will talk to you all in 20 minutes. Excuse me, and we are finished with our first focus session, during which I had lunch. I got a few things placed, in the house, but yeah, lunch is more important. I'm just saying, we had Five Guys. That's what my housemate picked up for me when they took Paul out. So Paul had McDonald's, I think, and I had a Five Guys Little Burger. Little Burger. Which wasn't very little at all, to be completely honest with you, but it's fine. Right, I don't want that one. I want that one. Please, game, if you don't mind. Thank you very Meld, if you don't mind. Thank you. So, during our break right now, we are going to take a look at the Q&A session about the new world of Andarian and the lore within the world. So this happened last night on right after our stream yesterday over on the official Sims Discord. And they basically gave everyone a chance to ask loads of different questions, and the developers, Fior and Zinnia, tried to answer as many questions as they could in the allotted time that they had, to be able to answer these questions. So personally, I am super super interested in all of this. So the very first question is, do you know what Ondarian's climate will be? Will it be different for each neighborhood? Someone else chimed in and said, will there be snow? And I can confirm that, and as we get down lower, we will they'll answer it, but I can confirm that there there is quite a few different climates in Andarian. Each neighborhood has its own climate, so it's wetter in one neighborhood than another. Another one has more sunshine, and so on, which I think is really awesome. By the way, I do need to say that, as a reminder to you all, I did get free DLC, free early access to the upcoming Royalty and Legacy DLC, which is being released on Thursday of this week, alongside two kits, of which one is a cast kit and one is a build buy kit, of which I also got early access. So, huge thanks to the Sims Creator Network for linking me up with those keys. That's what you're seeing in the game. I'm making the build that I'm doing right now very heavily royalty and legacy DLC based. So, but anyway, back onto the Q&A. Someone asked, also wanted to know, can you tell us what I want to know everything you can tell us about Princess Cordelia and her legacy through the Thebe dynasty. So, with this with this, Gonz over on YouTube, Gonz. Gonz is like the person that you want to go to for Sims for the Sims lore just in general. He has just gone through and all of the lore, and he's released a lore video over on his YouTube channel. So I would highly recommend, if you're interested in the Sims 4 lore, to go check Gonz out, because he dives deep. I mean, super deep into the lore. Iwoki, his brain to store all that lore is always amazing. Gonza's so good with that, and you love it when he does a dive. Same. I tried doing stuff, a few lore videos in the past, and I have no idea how Gonz does it. I couldn't keep track. I 100% could not keep track of everything, and he's got to have spreadsheets. That's all I can say is Gons has got to have spreadsheets, or some form of organization skills that I don't. Seriously amazing. So someone's tell me everything about Virgilio. Um, I can't wait to see the Caps back. Who is Amarchi and Obi's dad? Tell me everything about the Pirates. Someone once, are there any townies that haven't been mentioned yet? That is a really good question. Do Ondarian and sisters have any lore, specifically Cordelia the Third? Someone wants to know, can you have vampire, spellcaster, werewolf, fairy, mermaid, alien, ghost, occult, dynasty, crest? Um, that, those are words. That is all I'm gonna say is those are words. But you saw earlier today, I did go through the crest wall decorations, wall decals, and there are a lot of crests to choose from. So Iwoki, you always imagine that Gons has this big bulletin board with all the connections tied with yarn. It wouldn't surprise me if he makes a video that just has a huge bulletin board with yarn just to poke at people who ask him that. I might I might at mention him over on the EA creator, the Sims creator Discord, and give him that idea because it would be hilarious. So let's see. All right, here we are. So the first question, do you know what Ondarian's climate will be? Will it be different for each neighborhood? And Fiora has responded, each neighborhood has slightly different climates in Ondarian. You can expect more rain in Verdamar, more sun in Dambale, and more temperate climates in Bellacord. Now, hold on, itchiness. I did see someone over on Blue Sky this morning mention how disappointed they are about the Moraine in Verdamar, because Verdamar is supposed to be based off of Spain, very loosely. And the fact that right now Spain is getting just pummeled with storm after storm after storm, um, it's hitting a little bit too close to home for that person, which I don't blame them at all. So yeah, Spain is not having much luck right now as far as storms. They're just getting pummeled. And Iwoki, you would love to see a video, a Gons video like that, behind the scenes, even if it's for laughs. I'll at mention him and tell him that we were talking about him during his during our live stream today, and talking about that you all think, just envision a bulletin board with yarn and pictures and information and everything. And I'll suggest it to him. I can't promise anything, but it would be hilarious. So Jello, said, I want to know everything you can tell us about Princess Cordelia. And Zinnia responded, Princess Cordelia seems to have been taking some potion to keep her alive through so many years. Her first mention in Sims lore dates to medieval times. It's all explained in her journals in the game. So in the DLC, one of the collections in the DLC is Princess Cordelia's journals, and it Gons goes over the journals in his royalty and legacy lore deep dive. But yeah, basically the journals say all about how Princess Cordelia took this potion to make her immortal, basically. Really interesting piece of lore. I'm not going to go into extreme detail about it. One, because I haven't completed that collection, and two, Gons goes over it a lot better than I ever could, to be honest. So, ooh, that is a good question. Bert Alto is listed as Enzo's father in the family tree, but there's no mother listed. Now, Gons did mention this as well as a few other Sims creators, who have dived into the new family tree. Um, that a lot of townie Sims, their family trees don't seem to have been updated. So whether the family trees are going to be updated slowly over time, I don't know, but I really, really hope so because it would be really neat to see um, the ancestry of Bella Goth, for example. Although saying that, there is no ancestry listed for Bella Goth, by the way, in the family tree. But I'm not sure if that's by design or because they just haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm not sure, but it's that's not the only Vela isn't the only townie, and Enzo isn't the only townie whose genealogy it seems to be incomplete. So hopefully they'll go through and fix all of that. Speaking of Gons, hi Gons. Gons was in the Q&A last night. What is the reason behind excluding Hermia Cap from the family tree? There's certainly a lot of Monties and Caps missing, and I assume it's because we're focused directly with Tybalt, but I'm curious of the official answer. Um, Gons did ask that question as well in his deep dive lore video, so I am not surprised that he went into the Q&A last night to ask that question as well. Iwoki, that's what you were saying about Bella. Is that a slight nod to her being abducted, touching on her lore? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Very interesting to. It would be very interesting if we could get an official answer, But we all know how the Sims team love to keep little secrets up their sleeves. They're just naturally secretive like that. They love dribbling out lore, and bits and bats, which is fine by me because it keeps me interested. But it's really infuriating for people who are like have these burning questions that they need answered. So yeah, about the Princess Cordelia and her legacy, someone said according to her family tree, queen her and Queen Thebe are the same person, which is very interesting. Jello responded to Simdev Zinnia regarding the potion and the journal. It says, do Cordelia's progeny, especially the newly added Cordelia the Fifth, take after the original Cordelia in personality? And they say, I remember in MWS, some of the grapevine gossip said that Greta Laurent took a bit after Cordelia, for instance. So we'll see if the devs answer that question. Someone wants to know if we'll be able to make any tiaras if we have royalty and legacy and crystal creations. Good question. I haven't checked, to be honest. I honestly have not checked that. So someone wants to know about pirates, and Zinnia said we don't have classic pirates in royalty and legacy, but we do have a trio of individuals who run operations outside of the law. Their identities are concealed. You'll have to discover who they are and what they do. Um, oh no, that's interesting. I wonder I wonder who that trio of individuals are. Ooh, that Zinnia is really good. Oh, she is so good. I want to know now. Anyone else? Anyone else really want to know the answer to that question? Who is that trio? And real quick, the answer to the tiaras is sadly no. So we can't make tiaras if we got the Crystal Creations kit. Okay, my friends, let us go back into our focus time. That was a good start to the Q&As. We've got a lot more to get through, so let's set the timer. That is not the correct typing, Muir. Um, let's do that properly. There we go. Let's set the timer. I'm going to mute my microphone as always in case you're just dropping in. The way that we do things is 20 minutes focus, 15 minutes chat. So let's go into our next focus session. I will continue building this house and we will catch up in 20 minutes. All right, my friends, that is the end of our second focus time. Where is the time gone? My goodness, I swear that the time is just going by way too fast. It's fine. Um, shall we get back into the Q&A? I'm very happy with the amount of stuff that I've done so far in this house. We've got a nice little study nook over here now, which is awesome. We've got the start of another area over here with the chess tables. I still need to put some chairs in, but it's fine. I'll get there. There's a little bit more that I want to do, but we'll see what I can do in our last focus session, which will happen in just a moment. So let me just go ahead and bring up the Q&A, and let's continue that. So, what do we have? So we went over the potion and the tiaras. Just to sum up from last time, if you've got the Crystal Creation pack and the royalty and legacy DLC, you will not be able to craft tiaras, unfortunately. But it's fine. So someone wants to know: can you use a lightsaber instead of a normal looking sword for the swordsmanship skill? I want to say no, but I'm not 100% certain because I swear I saw on a Sims video earlier, not that long ago, someone said that you can't do it. So we'll have to see. Um, so yeah, I thought the potion suspended Cordelia's aging for 20 years. So and then Zinnia's chimed in and said she must have drank a lot of it then, so much that it maybe even changed her genetics and gave her a very characteristic eye color. In Life and Death, there's a tarot card that links her to medieval times. So again, with the lore being like dripped through every single DLC, which I absolutely love. Opting, what about a flashlight duct taped to a regular sword? I don't think that would work, to be completely honest. I don't think that would work. That's like um poor man's lightsaber, right? But yeah, I absolutely love that all the different DLCs contain lore that's interconnected. It is seriously so awesome. Is there any lore concerning why so many nobles have been turned into frogs? My answer to that is because it's fun. Let's see. Tell me everything about Virgilio. And Fiora has dived in here. It says, where to begin? Well, he's one of the three sons of Tybolt Cap. He's very much single, and despite being a high ranking noble, he's a bit of an outcast in the Cap family, as he really dislikes noble life. He's highly critical of the way nobles live, especially in Belacod, where everyone can be very vain. His closest friend, and perhaps the only real one among the nobles, is his sibling, Celeste Cap. Very interesting. And yeah, it's one new world with three distinct neighborhoods. For those of you wondering what the new map is, yeah, it's one world with three neighborhoods. Someone asked who's the monarch of Vandarian, and the answer to that is no one. Um, They say the throne is vacant since Queen Cordelia the First. There are succession disputes between Cordelia the Second line and the Andromach line, and the whole reason, as far as like gameplay reason, why there's no why the big throne is vacant is big. The big reason, the real reason. I mean, apart from the lore, the big reason is because the devs want us to play the DLC and learn about all of the lore and stuff in our own quest for our sim to become the monarch of Underian. That's the real reason. But lore wise, it's even more interesting. Let's see. Gonz Gonz's question about the reason behind excluding Hermia Cat from the family tree. Zinnia said, I thought of you so much when writing this. Unfortunately, there's a limit on the amount of Sims we can ship per pack, even if they're ancestors. We had to be very careful with who we wanted to prioritize, but that doesn't mean Hermia will never return to the franchise. There we go. So, yeah, that answers my question that I had about why some family trees were expanded and others weren't, and that's because they do have that limit there. From a developer standpoint, there is a limit as to how many sims they can include with each pack, even if those sims technically don't exist. Opting, what if you don't want to be a monarch? Does the kit include a guillotine? No, but it does contain a grandfather clock where you can tamper with and cause someone to die. I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding. It's so much fun. I'm too excited by that. Okay, okay. I'm gonna tell you all something. In in one of my upcoming videos, that's releasing this week, one of the videos shows the new death, and there was something really, really interesting with that. When I was playing the game and recording the stuff, um, I didn't show it in the final video, but it's really interesting. So all I can say is, if you get the DLC for yourself, I don't want to spoiler it, but and just in case it's like different across different people's saves. But what I did was I had Princess Cordelia kill her husband in the game. And there was a notification that popped up right after he died. That was very interesting. So I don't want to say what it is, because if you all decide to get the DLC, I don't want to spoiler it for you. Spoil, you know what I mean. I don't want to spoil it for you. And also I don't want to say, just in case the notification doesn't pop for everyone. Um, because the Sims can be weird. But it was a wow. I don't that was quick type of moment, Opting, can you tape a kitchen knife to the clock? That's getting towards a guillotine. There is no beheading in The Sims 4. Sorry. All right. Yeah, yeah. In regards to Cordelia, drinking so much of the potion so that it changed her genetics and gave her a very characteristic eye color. Princess Cordelia in The Sims, has purple eyes. So just yeah, and that was passed on from the original Princess Cordelia down through her ancestors. So they all have purple eyes, which is really interesting. Now let's see. Gon says, "I'm so honored I might die." That Zinnia was thought about Gon's when writing the lore. So in regards to, according to her family tree, her and Queen Thebe are the same person. Princess Cordelia and Queen Thebe are the same person. Zinnia says that is correct. In her journals, she explains that after drinking so much potion, people started gossiping and whispering about her longevity. She had to come up with a new identity to continue reigning. So the thing is, according to her journal, she went away for a while and then came back as Queen Thebe. Moving on to, yeah, is the sim limit why Sims like Bella's family were not included in family trees? Yeah, see, we had the same question. Um, I'm thinking the answer is yes, but it might also be due to the Bella's own weird lore. So let's see. Is there anything else? There's loads of people asking questions here. Someone wants to know if there's any My Sims or other Sims game references in the Townie lore, which is a really good question. Definitely a good question. Going, will we hear about Hermia Tybalt's aunts and cousins? Again, that's a good question. Ooh, now that's a very good question. Will there be Arab stuff coming in this pack alongside the African stuff? And Fiora says there's no focus on Arab content with this pack. For the Dambale neighborhood, it's Townie's lore cast and build by. We specifically worked with Pan African Gaming Group, which is a charity, to focus on bringing West African culture into a royal setting with the Sims style. And now I do love that they collaborated and worked with the PAGG. I mean, seriously, that is awesome. And they also worked with African American and African European simmers to help create the lots and regarding culture and everything, which again is fantastic. However, there are quite a few people who are like, you kind of missed the mark here. I mean, there's the whole you got to be more general when creating a Sims 4 world, especially when it's around culture and that, especially when it's just like one neighborhood in an entire world. So my brain just went. Um, but the fact that they're saying that it was based off of Ghana, um, and the architecture is definitely not Ghana, from Ghana. So I don't know what happened there. There are other content creators who talk about it much better than I ever could because one, it's not my culture, and two, I don't know very much about Africa except for a very surface level. So I like this. Now that we have new glass slippers, what's the story behind the glass slippers? Is the story related to fairies? Are there any hints about Ella Carlisle, the one and only true owner? Hmm. Okay. Gotta. I'm wondering if they're gonna answer that. So let's see. How many noble families are there? Upon when you install the DLC, there are 5 noble families. There's Thebes, which is where Princess Cordelia is, Abrantes in Verdamar, the Durongs in Dambale, which are connected to the Dreamers from The Sims 2, and Inzo Alto and the Caps in Bellacord. So that's 4, 5. Yeah, Altos and Caps. And she says they're all pretty different when it comes to narrative tropes and family values. And just to add to this, I can also confirm that if you own other DLCs, oh, not DLCs, sorry, in the base game, I haven't actually checked other DLCs, but in the base game, the land grabs and the Goths are also considered nobles. So if you go into Oasis Springs, the land grabs will have a nobility icon, and so will the goths in Willow Creek. So very, very interesting there. I actually turned those two families into the ruling monarchs over their two worlds, um, and showed myself doing that in a video that is being released this week as well. So if you are interested in that, please do keep an eye out. And we are once again finished with our break time. So let's go ahead. We do have quite a bit here to talk about coming up. So we've got one more focus and one more break, and we will. I'll try to get through this entire. I don't think we're going to get through this entire Q&A session, but I'm going to try to get through as much as I can in the next break. So let's start our hello browser. Stop arguing with me. Opting, what are they gonna do about it? Opting, so bad. You're probably gonna be gone by the next break. No worries, Opting. You take care of yourself, please. Stay warm. Definitely stay warm, because I know how cold it is over there. Right, 20 minutes on the timer. As always, I mute my microphone during our focus sessions, and I'm going to get my head down and try to get as much of this house done as possible. So let's get going. You know what I just realized? Um, Also, we're finished with our focus session, so yeah. But I while I was doing this, I realized that we didn't get a new gnome with the upcoming Royalty and Legacy DLC. There's no royal gnome or gnomalty. Gnomeability? Anyway, yeah, there's no gnomeability gnome that's been included with the new DLC the new DLC. And that's a travesty. Let me tell you. That is an absolute 100% just travesty. It shouldn't happen. It 100% should not happen. And I, for one, am living. Not really, but I'm still slightly disappointed, that there is no new gnomes. Because I like the gnomes. I don't care what anyone else says. The gnomes are awesome. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so we're pretty much finished with this build now. By the way, I'm so excited. So tomorrow we will start having this play in the background, and yeah, I cannot wait. So let me give you a quick tour, real quick. And then we'll dive into into the Sims Q&A session again. So real quick, we've got the outside of the house, very lavish, very purple, very pink. We go down the entrance path here that's lit very lavishly with these little street lights. And then we go into the living area, and we've got this huge giant living area. We have the seating area here where our Sims can, sit and relax in front of a fire and just chat and visit, read books, whatever they want to do. We've got a bookcase there that's full of books. Then over here is our painting section where Sims can paint. There is some stuff on there if you look. I don't know why The Sims does this, but yeah, there's a few still life things on the plinth there that Sims will be able to paint, if once they decide they want to do so. Let's go back in here. There we go. This is our computing area where Sims can write books, play video games, go on the computer for whatever reasons, We also have a little bookcase here, again, in case anyone decides they want to read. This is our skills area, so, we've got, chess tables here. We've got a debate podium there, bonsai bush there, just in case Sims decide they, want to trim a bush. Get your mind out. Woodworking bench there, and then outside we have a nice pond with a sailboat, a fishing spot, a nice little lounge area here off to the side with tea. And then off to this side, we've got our swordsmanship mannequin, a grill, a telescope, and a little seating area here off to the side, in case Sim wants to sit here and look at this gorgeous landscape. Then, if we go back inside, we've got some rooms off to either side. So, we've got the bedroom off to this side. All single beds, so no autonomous, messing around happens. Because that's just weird. So we got 4 beds. All just, pretty simple stuff. A couple of wardrobes. In here we have a kitchen with plenty of, we got the refrigerator, cooker, all of that wonderful stuff. Then there's a couple of snack sections, displays there. A buffet table with loads of food. And then we've got the bathroom and toilet. The toilets are just through this door. Freaking love these doors, by the way. They're so cool. So yeah, just a double stall from high school years. Hi, Jeeves. Hi, Astana. Welcome in. And then we have the bathroom here with a vanity table and bathtub. And it looks like Roxem is getting ready to take a bath. As you do. So there we go. That is our, that's our build done. I'm just going to take a very quick photo of it. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So how you doing, Astana? You're right. Glad as always to see ya. Okay, so my friends, let's jump into, let me save this, and let's go into the Q&A. I'm very happy with this build, to be honest. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic for, again, if you are if you sub to me on Twitch, or a tier 2 YouTube channel membership, then your sim self, or a sim that you created of your choice, can be put into this household or the club. It first come, first get, join the household. Everyone else gets to join the club. And yeah, we can have up to 14 different sims. Actually, 7 plus, yeah, up to 17 different sims, or 14 different sims, sorry, in this house at once, and I forgot to fix that. Give me a second, or else it's just going to annoy the living. Actually, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'll fix that tomorrow. Don't let me forget to fix that tomorrow, please, because I do need to go into this Q&A before we run out of time. Astana, you're in bed. You should do laundry. I suggest you do laundry after you get out of bed. And you're like, gee, thanks, Muir. Why didn't I think of that? Okay, let's go through the Q&A real quick. So, someone asked, will we hear about Hermia or Tybalt's aunts and cousins? And Zinni replied, not in this pack, I'm afraid. There's a limit on the amount of sims we can ship per pack. If it were from me, I'd bring them all back. So, yeah, it is a shame that there is a limit on the amount of sims that they can ship per pack, because I would love to see the Sims team being given free reign to do whatever they wanted, no holds barred, in a pack. Call it like a mega DLC. I would love to see what the Sims team would do if they were just said, right, here's the design, here's what we want, go for it. no sim limit, no item limit, no mechanic limit, just go for it. Have fun. I would love to see what the Sims team could do with that. Astana, you're running out of socks. Oh no. Jeeves, do not do laundry. Go back to bed. You have done laundry. Paul does laundry in this house. Let's see. Are there any Monty members besides Romeo and Juliet? And Fiora says, perhaps Romeo and Juliet may have had a son. Ooh. Someone asking, is this the last expansion pack for The Sims 4? Someone always asks that. Is Cordelia the fifth pregnant when starting the game? And Fiora's like, no. And if she is when you start your game, um, please let the team know because that would be a bug. And Zinnia said that the Romeo and Juliet's son is Dante, who happens to be secret friends with Tybalt's child. Jeebs, Astana is running out of socks. It means that they're not out of socks yet. I've got like a dozen pairs of socks. I am never going to run out of socks, especially since Paul does so much laundry. Let's see. Going through another question about the caps is Tybalt single, right? Did he ever marry anyone in the past? So Zinnia says Tybalt is single at the moment, and he's a catch, to be honest. Whoever marries him can insta upgrade to Grand Duchess of Andarian, but they would have to deal with the problematic children. So there you go. You want to get become Grand Duchess of Andarian like that? Just marry Tybalt. So going through, here we go. What do the magic mirror and crystal slippers do, and how do you obtain them? And Fiora responded, the chanted mirror can be found upon a lake in Bellacord. You can use it. You may use it to try and glimpse into possible futures. The crystal slippers can be obtained in many different ways, especially by interacting with the unique points of interest across Andarian. They can make you incredibly successful at a grand ball event. Ooh, okay. So I didn't realize that they could. I mean, I knew they could make you successful at the grand ball event, but there when she says that they can be obtained in many different ways, Fiora is not kidding. They're 100% not kidding. I know of at least 6 different ways that you can obtain the glass slippers in this coming up DLC. It is mad. Jeeves, if she is when you start your game, make sure Rob Bobson isn't around in your game. That guy gets up to some shady stuff. Love it. I can't wait to see what Rob Bobson gets up to in my save, to be honest. Let's see. Oh yeah, someone asked, is there any specific LGBTQIA plus representation in the townies? And someone said that there's a non-binary royal, which is awesome. Is there a gossip feature for Andarian's residents, such as in past packs? Zene says there's a whole scandals feature in which you can ask for specific secrets and expose them. It's not limited to Andarian, though. You can use it in any world. However, Andarian Sims come with secrets of their own upon installation of the DLC, so you can start digging and decide if you'll become their confidant or not. So just to reiterate that, if you get the DLC, your base game townies or your townies from vampires or werewolves or whatever probably will not have any secrets, but as your save progresses, they probably will get secrets just through autonomous, gameplay and autonomous updates and stuff like that. So that's gonna be, I mean, pure chaos. Absolutely pure chaos. Jeeves, the unmodded one, is somewhat boring. Aw. Not sure if he's somewhat into mischief without all the murder mods and all. Yeah, that is very true. That is definitely true. Let's see what else we have. Will they be releasing Sims in the gallery for this pack? And Lady Draya, who is one of the admins, she says, "Let me check and I'll get back to you." That's awesome. I mean, just follow the main, look, main Sims gallery account, or search for specific, specific developers, sim gurus. And like, I know Shawnee has her own um EA gallery account or Sims gallery account. So yeah, just check the different Sims developers accounts over on the Sims gallery to see. Right, let's see. What else do we have here? Okay, so it's not a lore question. I was wondering if there's a list somewhere, or if you could tell me all the noble titles. So there's Knight, Baronet, Baron, Viscount, Margrave, Count, Marquess, Duke, Grand Duke, and King. Those titles are all different depending on your Sim's gender, and you can also write custom ones. Now, I do know that there was a bug regarding the custom titles when I had super early access, but I have been told that a lot of the bugs that we found in super early access are being fixed before the DLC is released on Thursday. So that is fantastic to hear. "Can I make Elsa? I won't be stopping you," said Zinnia. Let's see. What else is there? So, will the old nobles become dowagers when the next generation noble is crowned? Can the same sim inherit multiple titles? And Zinnia says they can just inherit one title. So you can have your sim can have one royal title at a time, and that's it. They can climb the ranks, but they can only hold one title. Right. Let's see what else we've got here. I'm trying to get through all of this just as quickly as I can, because I do want to get through the Q&A today. So, um, for sword duels, can occults duel in their own way, such as magic duels for casters, vampire duels for vampires. Zinnia says occults have their own duels already when they use their powers. This is why when they duel with swords, they only use the swordsmanship skill. Okay. Is there any specific LGBTQI representation? And Fiora says so much. To be fair, most of the nobles in Andarian are LGBTQIA+. Some that come to mind immediately are Celeste Cap, who is non-binary. They've got a penchant for chivalry and a traditionalist aesthetic, which is not the most common way to represent non-binary people, and we really wanted to explore that space in our representation. We also have Akachi Anoya, who is written as intersex. And so many more. I could talk about them for hours. That is awesome. I might have to do a deep dive into the townies just to see which ones are LGBT. Oh, there we go. Tybalt is bi. Seriously awesome. I like all Sims can marry Tybalt with a hot face. Oh dear, Zinnia. Moving to even though they're rivals, do Tybalt and Juliet still love each other? The bond in The Sims 2 was so sweet. Fior says their relationship is really, really strained in Andarian after Juliet got ousted from the Caps, but it's never too late to repair it in your game if you want them to be friends again. Someone asked, I saw a Cap household description, and I'm wondering, will Celeste have an idealist trait if I have businesses and hobbies? Zinnia says, no, but gameplay wise, you could go through a self discovery moment and gain the trait for them. You could also use a retrading potion or cheat. And Zinnia says swords are not linked to occults. They're collectible for anyone to use in a fair way with no advantages for supernaturals. Zinnia says regarding dynasty crests, you can make your own and include a family member of each occult nature. So technically, it is possible to have a bunch of different occults in one dynasty. Can we banish unlawful from our game? Is there a toggle to turn the unlawful NPCs like Robin Hood on or off? And Fiora says that there's no toggle for that. However, I do know from experience that if enough people request a option like that in the settings, that they might create that toggle in a future update or something. Jeeves, it's weird. You feel like The Sims has taken a step back. All Sims used to be bisexual by default, and everyone just accepted it. Yeah, I know, right? Um, at the same time, though, I do like that we can tailor them a little bit more. So this way, because a lot of people were like, were like, I love that all the Sims are like, pansexual by default, but I don't want my gay sim, my sim self, who is supposed to be completely gay, to autonomously go off with this woman sim who is a lesbian, is supposed to be a lesbian. And that's why, because people were asking for more representation and to be able to control that representation to an extent. So that's why the whole uh deep dive into more options for sexuality and gender were included, which I think is awesome because I love the that we can create transgender sims now, where in the past we couldn't. Um, and I just love that update, to be honest. All right, so can occult monarchs be challenged to a cult? Okay, yeah. If you're looking to challenge for the throne, you would have to specifically challenge a occult monarch to a sword duel. There's no but two specific icons for crests, but you can create any you want. You can make two dynasties for them and make them rivals. Okay, that's pretty cool. You cannot use lightsabers instead of a normal looking sword. They have to be, you have to use the swords that are in the Royalty and Legacy pack, which is unfortunate because I would love that cross pack gameplay. That would be so cool. But yeah, unfortunately, they didn't put that cross pack compatibility in. With the two, that is. So, is there a possibility for your sim to be turned into a frog? And Fior says, not within Royalty and Legacy, but I love the way you think. Is there a way to what's this? Oh yeah, is there a way to stop the triple, the trio that are above the law or go beyond the law? And someone says burglar alarms will still work on top of throwing hands and fighting them off yourself. There's a new method to fend off the burglar, which is by swordsmanship duel. That's cool. I noticed there's a lot of single parents in the pre-made families from this pack. Who's the mother of the latest gen of caps? And Zinnia says we have a lot of single parents in Andarian due to limitations of how many Sims can be included per pack. We wanted to offer drama in both the current and newer generation of Sims, and also have powerful royals who are eligible to marry. Only Cordelia is in a committed relationship at the moment, and maybe not for long. Um, I can confirm. I can confirm the not for long. Kill off her husband. That's all I can say. Kill her husband and find out what happens. Jeeves, you get options. You reckon in your game everyone's a floozy anyway. I like it. Um, So any scandals or that will always happen, or is it a bit random? So the nobles in Andarian already come with a few secrets. Cordelia the Fifth may or may not have a secret lover, and um, Adekoya Durong is rumored to have a secret child who may have a claim to the Durong dynasty. These kind of secrets may or may not get revealed in your game, depending on your actions. What happens if two reigning monarchs marry each other, or two heirs that both live in the same world and inherit titles? So Zinnia says two reigning monarchs can only marry each other if they are in different worlds, because the game prevents two level 10 nobles being in the same map. This is, I can confirm that this is true because I made a married couple in The Sims in the new pack, and I cheated them up to nobility at level 10, and one of them, um when I cheated the second one up to level 10, the game said that you can only have one reigning monarch at a time. Um so I then had to have my sim seduce her husband into giving up the throne. So there you go. It says if they continue living in different worlds after the wedding, nothing will change. But if they move in together, the one who moves to the world will be demoted a level. So if you have Sim A in Andarian and Sim B in Oasis Springs, who are both monarchs of their respective worlds, and Sim B from Oasis Springs moves to Andarian, then they will be demoted um, from level 10 to level 9. So moving on, there are many different types. Are there many different types of balls we can throw? Zinnia says you can organize a ball without a dress code, which will have Sims appearing in their assigned formal outfits, or with a dress code, which allows different degrees of formal plus a color. There's also the option to request masks on the guests, so you can have a masquerade. Kids will be ranked lord, lady, or laird unless their parent becomes a queen, king, or monarch. In that moment, their inherited title changes to prince, princess, or prinsen, which is the gender neutral version of prince and princess. So, Beatrice, Virgilio's sister. Beatrice is the eldest of Tybalt's kids and the expected heir of the Caps dynasty. Across Andarian, she's seen as the perfect daughter, and she does indeed come across as the idealized noblewoman. Fior goes on to say, what her admirers don't know is that deep down, Beatrice does find noble life in Bellacourt to be a bit shallow, and she would love to have a deeper connection with someone. Aw. All of Tybalt's kids are painfully single and very romanceable, just throwing that out there. Fior really wants people to marry into Tybalt's family. How did you pick the world's name of Undarian? Unda means wave in Latin based languages, and they wanted the world to feel very maritime. The Aryan bit just added a bit of fantasy feel to the name. So, any drama between the Durongs? The Durongs are quite diplomatic and have been pretty good at staying out of the drama with the other high ranking nobles. However, they may have some history with one of the more common families in Dambale, the Ananus. Ooh, spicy drama. I do love my Sims drama. So, what about if an heir to a royal throne is in another world? Noble Sims can continue moving just like non nobles. If moving causes a title conflict, the game will warn you with a pop up so you can proceed in your preferred way. Oh, they already thought of that. That's really good. I like that. Um, how are alliances made? There's a dynasty option in the social menu where you can choose to ask for alliances or declare rivalries, amongst other options. Not everyone will accept alliances from the get go. If the dynasties are not matching in terms of prestige, it might get declined. Fiora says that any sim can host a ball. It's quite an expensive event to run, and you're going to need some specific objects like the dance floor specific for waltzes. You can host at your home or at venues, and there's an outdoor pre built area for balls in each of Andarian's neighborhoods. Nice to know. So, Enzo and Holly are cousins. You can have him invite her to the Alto dynasty if you want to have a proper rival to the land grabs. You can waltz as a pair outside of the Grand Ball event on the smallest of dance floors, but to run a Grand Ball, you need the big dance floor. All nobles can request any other sim to become their noble advisor, but not the other way around. So you can't have non player sims asking your sim if they can become your noble advisor, and you can't ask other NPC sims if your sim can be their advisor, and so on. Okay, so there are scandals from other packs. For example, Sims do not approve when vampires drink from others without permission, and that's considered to be a scandal. Ooh. So Vlad has probably got a lot of scandals going on. Nobles who are high up in the nobility ladder will gain fame gradually for players who own Get Famous, which will make townies react to them. Okay. Nice. Are there any interesting bits of lore you haven't been asked about yet that you'd like to share? Fior says there's a place in Dambale where you can undergo a series of trials for Anansi the spider. This is a figure from African folklore that they were able to bring into the game, and it's a really good match for the vibe of The Sims and a lot of fun to collaborate on this one with the Pan African Gaming Group. I love the all of the myths and legends about Anansi the spider. Seriously, if you've never heard of Anansi the spider, highly recommend that you research the tales about her. They are some very interesting stories. Is public woohoo a scandal? And Fiora says, yes, it is. I like it. So, off the top of, Zinni says, off the top of my head, we've got for scandals, public woohoo, secret affairs, secret babies, non consent plasma drinking, forging breakup letters, woohooing with staff, and so on. Oh, and having your spouse die after a few days of getting married. Very, very suspicious. Also, stealing, romancing the Grim Reaper is considered scandalous. There are plenty, says Zinnia. I like it. Or is there any possibility of any form of republicanism, like Sims who might possess anti monarchy sentiments? There are a few characters in Andarian that feel strongly like that. There's rumors of a band of pirates that like to steal from the rich and give to the poor. And if you're rich, you may fall victim to this, but if you're poor, you may get some special gifts. So that's be an interesting rags to riches challenge. See if you could get rich off of the Robin Hood pirates. If you play by the book, will other Sims make up a rumor, or can you avoid having scandals? It's one of the goals that Sims were not able to make up secrets that were not canon in the player's mind. If you were to ask around and dig up dirt on specific Sims, the game can propose a secret to which you can reply, I believe it. If you want it to become true, or that doesn't sound like them, if you want that gossip to be discarded. Oh my gosh, I like that. That is such a good way of doing it. I seriously love that. I also love the amount of thought that they put into to stuff like that. That is so nice. So, no tombstones. We wouldn't have been able to add that. So, yeah, all of the deceased Sims that have been, that were added in the new family tree. Yeah, they don't have tombstones because they wouldn't have been able to add that many Sims in a single pack. So sad, very sad. You can write custom tiles in the Kingdom Manager UI. Yep. So if you want to get all noble Sims to either give up their titles or accidentally get caught in fires, who are we to stop you? Huh. So you can totally dismantle the monarchy through gameplay if you wanted to. Very interesting. So there's 2 new radio stations, Afrobeats and Waltz. And yeah, upon birth, you can choose to claim, if you have a secret child, you can choose to claim the biological dad's identity with a drop down menu, or carry on like your actual partner is the father of that child. Um, Scandal, by the way, very scandalous. That loads of fun, but very scandalous. Um, So, because the heir is another sim related to your noble, and they're allowing editing titles for family members, the Kingdom Manager UI will serve that purpose. Nice. Okay. You'll find a bunch of books on Ondarian which go a bit further into the history of the world and its noble families. There's also various pages from journals and other chronicles that you can find scattered through the lots of Ondarian. They contain lots of extra lore. Again, very nice. There's no lore related to the merfolk or fairies in the Royalty and Legacy at DLC. There's a new lot trait called Clandestine for any potential venue where you don't want the scandals mechanic to be active. I love how Zinnia went Woohoo Club and scratched that out. That is absolutely hilarious. Zinnia definitely knows the player base. There's a secret in the previous about the previous ruler of Dorong. Take a look at his notebook. Very, very interesting. What about the Ten Dynasty in the game total? Is that true or a rumor? Shawnee said that's a systems thing and not a lore thing, so this team is unable to answer, but we'll check with the other teams and let the forums folks know as well to see if we can get an answer there. Gosh darn it, Shawnee. But I do know, from what I've heard, that each world can have its own ruler. So if that is true, from what and based off of what the Sims have said, that is true, then you should be able to have more than 10 dynasties in the game. Just based because there's more than 10 worlds in The Sims 4. So, and you have to have a dynasty in order to start the noble career. So, yeah, um, I would say you should be able to have more than 10 dynasties. And there we go. We've reached the end of the Q&A. That's definitely a lot of information included in that, and there's so much more to learn about the lore and the world and the townies and everything in the Royalty and Legacy DLC. Seriously, I really like this DLC. I'm not going to encourage you all to buy it, but for obvious reasons. But it is a really good DLC. So yeah, definitely. If you want to get it, then do so. All right, my friends. I think we're just gonna end it for today because I've got a lot to do. So please take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Speaking of hydrated, quick water break. And I will see you all tomorrow, 10 a.m. UK time, um, with more co-working stream, and we're finally going to dive into the live mode of this save. And this is going to be playing in the background from now on with all of our in all of our work with me streams. And literally, we're just going to be like, I'll have the camera probably like in here somewhere, and um, yeah, I'll probably have the camera somewhere in here, and we'll just watch The Sims and see what they get up to each each day. I'll probably like move the camera around as you know the stream progresses, but yeah, we'll just move the camera here and there, maybe follow a sim around, and yeah, see what happens. It's gonna be interesting. Anyway, please take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. UK time. Bye.